You have questions, we have answers. This is Jane Muller.
And this is Ken Muller. Welcome to our show, all about real estate with Ken and Jane. Today, Jane, the topic of the day is marketing. And we're going to talk about the 3 top ways to market your home based on our years of experience.
That's my favorite thing to talk about.
Right.
Marketing.
Right. And that's one of the many roles the realtor has, one of the more important roles besides being an advisor, a negotiator. You have to be a marketer, because unless you market the home properly and you bring the offers and the people's interests, you don't get to do any of the other things that you need to do to get the house sold, right?
I totally agree with you. I wear many hats. I'm a social worker.
Sure.
A licensed psychiatrist.
Negotiator, marketer, maybe a cleaner, project manager, getting the house ready, dealing with the home inspection issues, getting the house, doing the final touches, the clean out, the water,
to make sure get the house ready for the picture. Wear many hats, but I just love what I do. Yeah. I wouldn't do anything different.
That's right. Yeah,
that's really.
That's right.
I'm really a personal. Really person.
Yeah.
I can't stand, I have a client mention, say, he loves his job, he's an accountant. I said, I can't be an accountant. You can't talk to the numbers, right? You never know. They're feeling like a computer, the same thing, right? Yeah. If any program doesn't work, you talk to them, what's wrong? It's not going to be any response.
That's interesting.
I love working with people.
I never heard that analogy, but I guess that's true. Yeah, I guess that's very true. Yeah.
Yeah.
But all the things we're going to talk about, they all have a common theme with the marketing. It's all you're reaching out to people. You want to get people's attention in the house, in the home, and there's all different ways that we do that. The first one, which is no secret, would be the social media, which covers a wide variety of means, from the internet, which we're going to get into, to the flyers, to the videos. So let's get started with that topic.
You know what, Ken? That's brought me back when I was in the college, right? And I did second major in marketing, and I did some courses as social psychology, because I try to understand how people think. Right, marketing is very interesting subject. You see the Super Bowl. A lot of people they pay a lot. A lot of big company pay millions to have the advertising. Right, but some advertising will make people get off the couch and do something. Some they say, "Oh, that was very interesting," and forget about it. Some you just feel flat. Why is that? So the marketing is very, very interesting. I'm very interested in market. So recent years, right, we have to really keep, as an agent, right, you have to keep learning. You have to keep improving, right, and go with the
go with the times. Because let's talk about it. When you started your career in real estate full time, which is now going on 14 years or so,
give
or
almost
take.
15.
Back then, the marketing that you did, we didn't have the videos, the Facebook and the Instagram and the other things we're going to talk about were not so evolved. So the marketing back then consisted of doing, maybe you could develop a flyer, a property flyer for the house. You would go out and go door to door and leave flyers with the surrounding community. You could do mailers. Those were with a feature of the house, picture of the house, and some key features.
And the advertising in the newspaper.
Newspaper advertising.
Yeah. Remember, Ken? I used to go to the school, put a flyer, especially the weekend. They have a Chinese school on Saturday and Sunday. Remember? Right. I used to go there to put my flyer on people's windshield. You were so scared. They said, "Jane, please, they can report you. You can't touch. You can break their windshield." You were so worried, and I said, "You know what? If that's not gonna work," I used to standing outside. In East Brunswick, there's a Chinese market called Asian market called Hong Kong market.
Right, where people go.
I used to standing outside there, give a flyer out, and because you told me don't touch people's cars. So, and later on
that's my lawyer hat.
Don't touch people's cars, Jane. You can't touch people's cars. And later on, I start to print out the information the property, you have an open house, we put a rubber band over because we don't want to print the door hanger. It's too expensive as a new agent. So we print it out and use the rubber band to band them together. We put on the people's door because that time you never know what kind of door they have. So you have a rubber band around it so you can tie down their door if you can't put it in there. So now, especially in every town is different, but in East Brunswick, you need to get a permit.
That's right.
Before you need to get a permit to knock on people's door. So time changed, right? Time changed.
Right, and you have to adapt, and you have to learn the current social media skills because I mean, not that the old ones can be still useful, and we're going to get more into that, and because it is a people business, so the more people you reach in any way is valuable. For marketing the home, but certainly if you want to take advantage of the modern day technology, as we call it.
I have to say, Ken, I really thank our broker, Carl Sanfilippo. I used to scared of the video. I'm so scared of to learn new technology.
In fact, I remember I think 6-7 years ago when you first started doing videos for the home, you would do multiple cuts. Because you would just get
you would freeze,
I
forgot which
or you forgot what to say,
for.
or you start.
I even halfway through I forgot my name.
Yeah, and even one video that we laughed at is one time when you were doing a video in a house tour, you couldn't open the sliding door because it was locked and you got stuck.
There's a stick underneath. I was so nervous I couldn't. That was the worst one. That time, the first time I do a live on Facebook, I never did that before, and your guys was in the office watching the Facebook. I couldn't open. But our colleague, was very, very, very skillful. So she turned the camera to the house.
Right.
So and I know the camera off me, so I could think, and then I could quickly realize there was a stick underneath the, on the sliding, so I could open the door. That was so funny, and that was like really, really. We have to grow with the time. In today's world, you have to have a social media. It's like, people are different. Like used to be, like I mentioned, right? We used to knock on people's doors. After COVID, I don't think anybody will appreciate you knock on their doors, right? And secondly, there's a lot of people, like the township have the rules you're not allowed. And a lot of old type of advertising, like newspaper, very rare people do that. So you have to adapt yourself to today's, the market. Today what's the new trend, right? Even though I was afraid, I would call myself old dragon, but sometimes you have to force yourself to keep up with it. You either do it or you be forgotten. So, if I got forgotten is one thing, but I don't think I'm doing the right thing for my client. They hire you to promote their home. Where the people see the home, the phone, right? The phone, and the phone.
The phone, right.
So the social media is very important. And we do a lot of video. We do a lot of flyers because there's there's some readers, they like to read, and the flyer maybe work better, and some people like to watch video. So that's very, very popular. You can see recent years, right? All the video get a lot of viewing and get a lot of attention. So, with the social media, you have a Facebook, you have all the others, you have, Instagram, LinkedIn, you have your personal website, you have YouTube. We have a lot of YouTube videos for our home. So, but to create a good content and also to have a high level of the video done is very important to promote the home. I understand some agent can be funny, right, and can do that. That's really good to promote mostly promote yourself as an agent or the house. But we as a Mueller team, we do more traditional way. We just put our, to showcase our properties, our listings.
Right, because you only have one chance to make that first impression.
Yes.
So you have to make sure that that what you're presenting of that home is going to highlight the features and properly market the wonderful attributes that the house offers.
Absolutely. So, and we pay a lot of attention, and thanks to our great team, and to learn to continue improve our skills to make a high quality videos and posters. So that's something very, very important. We put all these push out this through the social media. Once again, there's a lot of channels we go through. that's our trade secret. I wouldn't go to details for that, but we put through a lot of them. You can target the audience. For example, when the pandemic start, right, 2020, we realized there's a lot of people from New York, right? You could promote all your new listings, homes, videos, and flyers about, to that zip code or that area, North Jersey and, New York, Staten Island, and this area. You can target them. That's, you can target a lot of categories. You can fine-tune your marketing. At the end of the day, in the past, right, a lot of people just marketed, just like when we put a flyer out, we don't know who they are. We'll just put on their door,
It's
right?
called the general marketing, as
marketing.
opposed to targeted.
Target marketing now is more sophisticated now. So there's a lot of science behind it. So as an agent, once again, you have to understand where your potential buyer, it may not be your client. For me, I represent most sellers, right? But where your customer
buyer pool is going to come from.
Where your customer come from, with the other, if you know where the buyers come from, and that will going to help you to know where to market it. Social media today is a huge, huge venue. If you're not good at it, you better get good at it.
Yeah, and of course, the more channels of social media you can use, the better, because if you have more channels that are sending the information out there, the more likelihood is you're going to get a larger pool of interested buyers, right?
That's
if you're just
right.
doing Facebook, if you're just doing Instagram, if you're just doing TikTok, or you're just doing LinkedIn, it's not. It has to all. You have to do it all concurrently.
Multi-layer.
Yeah.
Sometimes even a multi-layer, right? You may have to have a different program because the young people may less like certain music, and the older generation like us may like other. So you have to fine-tune your message. Sometimes our listing, we may have the same house, may have 2 or 3 different way to promote it, right? We can have either coming soon or new listing or open houses or feature listing. You have to come up with a different way to repackage your video and the flyer. So give you multiple time to show in multiple social media platform to gain the great coverage, wide coverage of your home. That's one of the successful one of the tools we have with how we marketing our home. Yes.
Right. Okay. And then the second tool we're going to just touch on, and then we're going to go to break, because the second tool is personal touch. So we're going to touch on it very briefly and then take a quick break. So that means really reaching out to your pool of
reach out
to people, which could be fellow agents, your colleagues in the field, your developed database of clients that are looking for that type of home that has 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, 2-car garage, for example, right?
Yep.
So it's just reaching out to people. So with that, why don't we take a short break, and we'll be right back after these messages. Okay, welcome back. So we started talking about the second top way to market your home, and that's the personal touch. That's like go out and reach somebody, right, Jane?
That's right.
That's like you can't get away from that with all the electronic internet out there. It is still person to person. Business, right? It's people business, so there's nothing better than picking up the phone, calling your buyers, your people that you've made contact with at prior listings. Maybe they lost out on the house. They were the second or third runner up, and saying, hey, you know what? There's another great home out here. So that's just take that phone, pick it up, or invite them to come and see the house for a personal tour, for an open house. There's also that's one of your one very effective way to get that. Market the house.
I totally agree with you, Ken. Real estate is a people business. It doesn't matter how good the technology goes, right? You have to have a personal contact. Even though that we talked about earlier about the social media, right? That's one way of reach out, because this is contact with topic we talk about, but just go back a little bit to social media, right? You could do advertising the whatever on the social media platform, but they will show as advertised. So you probably get better result with organic way. So how's the organic way? Contact. Go back to the second,
Yeah.
right? And for me, for example, I have 1,000 people on my Facebook. I have another 1,000 people on my LinkedIn. They may be the same, maybe not. And I have other 1,000 people in my other social media contact. So at the end of the day, once we have a new listing, we put through, so these channels, right, they will go different layers. The people who know, right? That's really very important. And as you mentioned, and reach out to the other follow agent is equally, if not more important. Cooperation is very important. When we get a listing, say, for example, now the inventory is still very tight, right? And if any second, third, fourth runner-upper didn't get a house, when I get a similar listing, I often reach out to those agents and say, hey, I'm sorry last time didn't work out, and I just got a new listing very similar to the one. Is your buyer still interested? If they found anything, they may say, yes, my buyer bought, but you know what? I may have another buyer.
Right.
So always reach
networking,
out.
right.
Networking is
Networking, right.
Yes, very important. You got a networking. And besides that, you have to really have a lot of good, personal contact. For example, like in Mueller team, we have a larger database. All these years, almost 15 years database, right? Every time we list a house, we reach out to our potential buyers and to say, hey, there's a new listing. I understand you may have an agent, but this is a new listing you may be interested. Once again, everything tied together. You have a high quality video, high quality marketing material, and then you put it out there, and that's really help.
And you know what your clients are looking for, so you don't waste their time or your time or anybody's time. So you categorize their wish lists with the particular house that you're marketing, so you know if they want a bedroom on the first floor, that the house you're showing them has that bedroom on the first floor, so hence it's suitable, or vice versa. If it's not, then you don't show it to them. So you have to know. So it's really listening and knowing what your clients' wants are and what their wishes are, and then making sure you satisfy their wants, and then if you can satisfy their wishes, then you've done you're halfway there to
more than halfway
there. Right.
I think just as you said, Ken, our job as marketing the home like a listing agent, we have to broadcast or the feature of the home. So that's a very good point. When you're doing the marketing material, you have to make sure the features of the home is mentioned there.
And I want to say one more thing about the personal touch, about the social media, and this goes also to the whole professional approach. Whatever, regardless if you're marketing a $250,000 home or a $1.5 million home, your agent, you have to believe and love the home. So you have to give it your passion. You have to show the highlights, because every home has its features, its pluses, and you just have to really believe in that home and give it your all when you market it. And so you have to fall in love with it so that your clients can have that same sense of what they can do with it, or the potential. Right? It doesn't matter.
You gotta love what you do. You gotta love your home. So I always say to our client, once you sign your listing agreement, it's our home. It's no longer yours. It's ours, So that's very important, Ken. You got to have the passion. You got to have, sometimes even compassion to the buyer, to the sellers, the circumstances. So absolutely, you got to love what you do, love the home. So you have to make sure match the feature, because
and you have to be excited when you market it. If you call up and say, "Hey, this is Jane. I have this 4-bedroom, 2.5-bath home. It's it's on a cul-de-sac. It's it's available. Do you want it? It's a home." But if you say, "Hey, this home has got this bright,
you got to be. So I can't wait to tell you.
So the message
this is a great home. I know you're gonna love it, and I know you're not gonna like it. You're gonna love it.
Right.
Come have a look. This is gonna fit. 9 out of 10. What you want? Never get 100, but this is as good as it gets.
Right.
Come and see it. It doesn't cost you anything. Just come and see it. So that's very different. The once again, the personal touch is the key. Is the key. Even you say social media, you still have your personal touch, right? When you do the first quality of the marketing material, that's your personal touch. Right. Attention to details. High quality
photos, high quality video, resolution, professional videos,
the whole package. Absolutely. That's very, very important. And the another thing about the personal touches, especially I feel, in East Brunswick, a lot of people know us. So when they see the sign, sometimes the neighbor walking dogs or they walk around, they saw the sign, they could be interested. They could telling their colleague, telling their friend, hey, there's a new listing. Janie is listing in your house. So that's help as well. The neighbors sometimes, can advertise better than anyone because they live there. They love where they live. They can get a colleague, a friend, and people from the
and that goes back to the social media. That's why back in the day we used to do the flyers we would circle a neighborhood where there was a new listing because you want to use the neighbors and maybe they know somebody or have a friend or relative that wants to move to the neighborhood. So flyers, the traditional way of just flyering the whole surrounding neighborhood for a given house. You reach out to the neighbors and the friends, and you never know who they could help bring a interested buyer to the market.
Yes.
So
the third one, which is
your favorite one,
open houses.
Open houses, right? So that's a category in and of itself, right? Which has been a mainstay in real estate, right, from day one, and it's still a bread and butter solid way. It's still
to promote, in my opinion, because sometimes the agent may say to the owner, I don't need more business, so I don't want to do open house. I have to say I disagree. Regardless, you need more business or not, our job is to represent the seller. We're the ambassador of the home. So, why don't you open the door, welcome people there, and to answer their questions, right? A lot of time, I met a lot of buyers at the end of the day, they had a choice, this house versus the other, but because you introduce the home better, you give them the confidence, they feel right vibes about the home,
but also
they purchase
also, most importantly, it provides an added venue. There may be certain buyers from out of state that can't schedule a personal tour, a private tour when, because due to work or due to travel, but they're only available, the whole family might only be together on the weekend. So if you schedule an open house for a block time, typically from like a 1 to 4 o'clock on a Saturday or Sunday, they know that they can come during that time window and have a guarantee to see the house. So it provides that added. So you're just increasing your channels of marketing to
actually, you increase your channel marketing in a different level. Go back to the social media. You can do a flyer or video open house, right? And there's one way to go around one more time to get people excited. And secondly, you can reach out to your people the second one, the personal contact, to shoot out to the agent, shoot out to the past clients or your database or anyone and say, hey, also the open house sign there, and people see it, the people drive by, see it.
Right. You even get,
you get additional people. So you additional contact, right? How many times my client went somewhere, they just went to visit a friend, go to a party, and they saw open house sign, they went in, they bought a house. A lot of time.
Put it this way, if anybody says open houses are not an effective marketing tool, then you could say, why are 50 to 60 families coming to open houses in 2023 over the last month, right?
Yes.
And out of those people that come, you could say, well, they're not really serious buyers. But in your experience, I believe that a lot of the buyers that attend the open house are the ones that end up making the offers through their agent or through whoever.
Absolutely. So I think that's just make the buyer. I think for the seller side is a good too, Ken. Instead of people come one at a time, you have to get house ready. They may be on time, maybe not. You have block a certain time to have open house. So you have a lot of buyers came within a 3 hours period. So you reduced dramatically the individual visiting. The big portion of the individual visiting after the open house is a serious buyer. They want to see it second times, right, or third time. So most buyer may come by themselves. So after the open house, they may contact their agent, come back to see second time or show the family.
And getting to the fact that another importance of the open house is you can have the best social media, the best videos, the best click tours where you click the mouse and you go.
3Ds,
but
everything.
Nothing replaces the human eyes when the buyers set foot in the house and they can walk and see the reality is still better than the social media. So people, this is all very useful, but people still want to feel the house, experience the sunlight, see the view, and with their own set of eyes.
Ken, the home is very personal. It's like certain home will
and they want to get a
attract
feeling too.
Yes,
There's a certain
that's
feeling.
what I
So
meant.
there's a whole. It's not just the visual. It's the emotional. It's the feeling of the neighborhood. So they have to experience that. And the only way to
Yes.
experience that is to physically be there.
Yes,
And go walk
yes.
the house. Go up the stairs and look out the windows and envision yourself and your family being in the house. Right. It's that whole experience.
Absolutely. And once we had a buyer showing the house and the buyer agent showing the house, they made an offer. But I spoke to the buyer agent. I said, because only only the husband came, the wife couldn't make it. I said, you better ask her to make another tour, right? I mean, we will wait to see, because how do I know the person? Oh,
Right.
no, they love it. They saw the picture.
Yeah.
But actually, when she came, she said the picture shows the kitchen much bigger than actually
Right.
functional-wise it is.
And sometimes the color can be off from the pictures,
Yes.
either in a positive way or in a negative way. The
Yes.
picture can look better than the house
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
or
The
other
floor plan sometimes
floor
are
plan.
hard to. You have to really go in there, because for her, particularly, kitchen is very important, because she cook a lot. She has personal preference, but the picture looks bigger, than actually the house in her opinion.
Yeah, and
I
the
think
colors are
it's-
different because
yeah,
they're way.
I thought it was the same, but for her, that's why it's very important. You have to come and see.
And that's why you highly recommend any buyers that you recommend that both decision makers, or typically the wife, if that's the boss, see the house personally.
both have to
But
see
both have to see it. Don't bid on something that you haven't seen based on the video, unless
Yes.
that's highly not recommended.
Yeah, because you have a personal feeling, as you said, the vibe. When you
Vibe.
go in, how you feel. That's very important.
All right.
That's where you're going to live and raise your family.
That's a good way to wrap it up. We're about out of time, so we've covered those three things. Thank you, Jane. And
Thank
we'll see
you.
everyone next week. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.